Chapter 78. Then Adam said to Eve, "The children have grown up. We must think of finding wives for them." Then Eve answered, "How can we do that?" Then Adam said to her, "We will join Abel's sister in marriage to Cain, and Cain's sister to Abel." Then Eve said to Adam, "I do not like Cain because he is hard-hearted. So let them stay with us until we offer up an offering to the Lord in their behalf." And Adam said no more. Meanwhile, Satan came to Cain in the form of a man of the field, and said to him, "Look, Adam and Eve had discussed together about the marriage of you two, and they have agreed to marry Abel's sister to you, and your sister to Abel. But if it were not that I love you, I would not have told you this thing. So if you will take my advice and obey me, I will bring beautiful robes, plenty of gold and silver, and my relations will attend you on your wedding day." Then Cain said with joy, "Where are your relations?" And Satan answered, "My relations are in a garden in the north, where I once meant to bring your father Adam, but he would not accept my offer. But if you will receive my words, and if you will come to me after your wedding, you shall rest from the misery in which you are, and you shall rest and be better off than your father Adam." At these words, Satan got Cain's attention, opened his ears, and Cain inclined towards Satan to listen, leaned towards his speech. After this, he did not remain in the field, but he went to Eve, his mother, and beat her and cursed her, and said to her, "Why are you planning to take my sister to marry her to my brother? Am I dead?" But his mother quieted him and sent him back to the field where he had been. Then when Adam came, she told him of what Cain had done. Adam was very worried, but held his peace and did not say a word. Then, the next morning, Adam said to Cain his son, "Take of your young and good sheep and offer them up to your God, and I will speak to your brother and have him make an offering of corn to his God." They both obeyed their father Adam, and they took their offerings and offered them up on the mountain by the altar. But Cain behaved arrogantly, haughtily, toward his brother, and he shoved him from the altar and would not let him offer up his gift on the altar, but he offered his own offering on it with a proud heart, full of guile and fraud. But Abel set up stones that were near at hand, and on that he offered up his gift with a heart humble and free of guile. Cain was then standing by the altar on which he had offered up his gift, and he cried to God to accept his offering. But God did not accept it from Cain, nor did a divine fire come down to consume his offering, but he remained standing over against the altar out of meanness, to make fun of his brother, and he glared at his brother Abel to see if God would accept his offering or not. And Abel prayed to God to accept his offering. Then a divine fire came down and consumed his offering, and God smelled the sweet savor of his offering, because Abel loved him and rejoiced in him. And because God was well pleased with him, he sent him an angel of light in the form of a man to partake of his offering, because he had smelled the sweet savor of his offering, and he comforted Abel and strengthened his heart. But Cain was looking on all that took place at his brother's offering, and was angry because of it. Then he opened his mouth and blasphemed God because he had not accepted his offering. But God said to Cain, "Why do you look sad? Be in right standing with me, so that I may accept your offering. You have not murmured against me, but against yourself." And God said this to Cain in rebuke, and because he hated him and his offering. And Cain came down from the altar, and his color changed, and he had a sad face. And he came to his father and mother, and told them all that had happened to him. And Adam grieved much because God had not accepted Cain's offering. But Abel came down rejoicing, and with a glad heart, and told his father and mother how God had accepted his offering. And they rejoiced at it and kissed his face. And Abel said to his father, "Because Cain shoved me from the altar, and would not allow me to offer my gift on it, I made an altar for myself and offered my gift on it." But when Adam heard this, he was very sorry, because it was the altar he had built at first, and on which he had offered his own gifts. Cain was so resentful and so angry that he went into the field. There, Satan came to him and said to him, "Your brother Abel has taken refuge with your father Adam, because you shoved him from the altar. With your father Adam, because you have shoved him from the altar, they have kissed his face and they rejoice over him, far more than over you." When Cain heard these words of Satan, he was filled with rage, but he let no one know. But he was laying in wait to kill his brother, until he brought him into the cave, and then said to him, "Brother, the country is so beautiful, and there are such beautiful and pleasurable trees in it, and charming to look at. But, brother, you have never been one day in the field to take pleasure in that place. Today, my brother, I wish very much that you would come into the field with me, to enjoy yourself and to bless our fields and our flocks. For you are righteous, and I love you much. Oh, my brother, but you have alienated yourself from me." Then Abel agreed to go with his brother Cain into the field. But before going out, Cain said to Abel, "Wait for me, and I will fetch a staff because of wild beasts." Then Abel stood innocently waiting, but Cain, the presumptuous, got a staff and went out. And Cain and his brother Abel began to walk in the path. Cain was talking to him and comforting him to make him forget everything.